What do they say? It is live, and I am going to, well, I got no other choice but to believe them. So, hello, everyone. How are you on this Monday? Yeah. Well, hey, world's still spinning, I think, at least in one direction. Um, but then again, some say no. Welcome. Hope you're doing good. Hello, Lois. How are you doing? Warrior Queen. Good to see you. Nicholas, good to see you. Hey, Franny, how you doing? Straight A girl, how you doing? And she is. Hello, Karen, Queen of Quartz. So good to see you. I saw your generous offer in there. So good to see you. Cheesesteak 22. All the moderators, thank you. And all the rest of you far out people. I mean, listen, at some point in time, we all transcend into something. We're going to talk today about, well, it's where astral travel, I think, is, well, astral travel to me is more in the realm of detachment, where lucid dreaming, I think it shows just how close realities reside to one another. It's just to me. Anyway, hey 7P, how you doing? May I share a link with the video? Absolutely. Listen, it's a community here, but thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Susan, good to see you. David, Philip, Twisted Isby, good to see you. Lori, hello. How are you? Peace, my friend. Good to see you, Ian. Sky Hot, how are you? Dances on Waves. Truly, that is far out. I like that. That just invokes a whole, imagery for me. Um, Growing up in the first foster home I was in, one of the foster parents' biological children was a very gifted, um, talented graphic artist. And I still remember his name, Philip. And he was the same age I was. And, at 12 years old, he was remarkable. The point that I'm trying to bring into all this is that realities are really very close. And when I think about riding waves, I think about the Silver Surfer. How many of you remember that? Dating myself back, but boy, right as I was talking, I was back there. I was back there in that exact room. And in fact, I can tell you, Laugh In was on. Anyway, hey, Brian, Milky Way Messenger, how are you doing, my friend? Flight Risk, hey, good to see you. Joe Sapien, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Robin, hello, hello. So good to see you. So let me just invoke favor upon you. Favor is working. It's working in people's lives. And we're going to continue to do it. We'll be known as the community where favor is ever present. And I think today, as we discuss lucid dreaming, you're going to find out how much favor really, how shall we say, it's like you're the best baker everywhere, anywhere in the universe. And you're putting the frosting, the icing on there, and you're working your magic, putting your sigil on there. So that's what we're talking about, favor. May favor ever and always abide with you. And favor actually has brothers and sisters. Prosperity is one, restoration is another. A hundredfold return. Yeah, they're all related. And so I just say that they find their perfect abode within you and never depart. Nothing missing, nothing broken be in your lives. So, how was your strong end of the week for you? Did you have fun? Susan says she's working on her sigil. I got the most delightful email, and I didn't get their permission to share the picture, but I'm sure it will be all right. But until then, but Terry and Charlie, they're just a delightful couple. I mean, seriously, there's another couple that I'm working with, and these are artisans in all the different forms. And I'm telling you, the sigils are everywhere. I have been contemplating and working with one I think is a very good graphic designer and artist is Joshua, Conscious Aware, talented people. And I just look forward to yeah, Gilbert, I remember that movie. Loved it. That sigils. I mean, they're working, folks. Powerful, powerful. And the couple I was just talking about, Charlie actually, I guess, is a welder. I'm assuming that that is correct. If I've misspoken, I apologize. But made this just beautiful, far out. I'll go ahead and show it. I mean, I don't think they would mind. Let me pull it up. In the meantime, y'all just talk amongst yourself, have a good time there. And so here it is. Yeah, this is cool, folks. Seriously, this is cool. So check this out. I'm telling you, this is cool. So check that out. I love it. So this is big, folks. This is their sigil for prosperity. And you know, the thing about it is, this is a declaration of all forces, energies that come around their property, their home, that they speak and have put forth the sign only for prosperity, their betterment, their growth. Hey, folks, this is, as Jeff and I were talking on our show yesterday. By the way, yeah, check that one out. That's one of the classics. It's definitely. This is probably the most powerful magic you can do. Protection, talisman. You know, I just think it's so cool. And I'm working on some things. I think that this is something we all need to look into. And I have another project I'll be showing you. And folks, I hope that we could be named and known for is that favor and sigil group over there. You know, it's like they're pretty powerful people over there, and we are mighty powerful in here. So this is cool. This is very cool. So anyway, Wednesday I got Trina on. Oh, this is going to be fun. Got some things that, well, after today, it begins to put things more and more into light as we continue to read Franz, Agrippa. There's going to be others we're going to be bringing in to our, how shall I say this? We're cooking, man. And we're not just cooking one thing. You know, I don't know about you, but I always look at breakfast or dinner. I don't particularly eat lunch. Very rarely eat breakfast, to be candid with you. But I do look for an evening meal, and I like a variety. You know, you got the entrees, you got the side, you got the. You know what I'm saying? So we're kind of cooking in here. You know what I'm going on? And it's all related. This is all about magic. I hope, and I know this, for the vast majority of us who meet here each at this time during the week. Um, we know this. We live in a world of magic. And when you think about lucid dreaming, magic, the question that I think one has to ask is that if magic works in this realm, this dimension, I'd say it's a pretty fair bet that magic works in all dimensions, and that the death of exiting this dimension, because this is where our physicality is connected, it's the silver cord that holds us all here. Now, if we could see this with our eyes, we would see every person, now this is, hear me out on this, who is asleep just like us. The ones who don't have the cord, some of you are figuring this out. Because what is, I don't know how Maria is doing now. I haven't heard from her. I hope she does well. I hope we put some good money in the kitty for her. But if you think about this, one of the ways that I have seen in lucid dreaming that we're going to be learning, I'm going to give you, you want to know how to do it? I'm going to show you. I got the files. If those of you who want them, many of you do, I'll be more than happy to send them to you. Just email me, and you can do this. In my lifetime, I'm about to celebrate a birthday on June 19th. Can you email the Sigil website? Sure, Joe, I can do that. Yeah. So on June 19th, I will have completed another year. I'm going into a really far out time. You know, Heidi and Trisha and all these very talented people that have this gifting, and you know, seriously, they're good. Kindred Spirit, same way. I mean, these are talented people. I could just go on. Warrior Queen. My point to all this is that when you see how we're connected here, how we process what here is, and that if we are in fact consciousness, I ask the question, what are we? You know, we get so often wrapped around the axle, well, no, you're a spirit, you have a soul, and you live in a body. Yada, 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 yada. Yeah, I get that. I got, you know, sure. But what I want to know is what's really going on here. You know, it's like, yeah, okay, I can dig that, you know, but hey, you know, if I can dream and I can be consciously awake, knowing that I'm dreaming, and that in that dream, I'm aware is not a dream so much as the fact that I know that I'm dreaming. Does that make sense? You know, it's interesting. All of this are there in one way or the other. It's just that when you have the opportunity to actually be aware that you're in a dream state, you begin to understand these dream states are not dream states as much as they are dimensions. Someone said you can't feel pain in a dream. I disagree with you on that. You can. Yeah. Let me tell you what, you can feel heartache in a dream. You can cry in a dream. You can laugh in a dream. And it's just as real as you laughing and crying in your physical temporal body. The spirit is not held to one dimension. The brain, we've discussed this here, 11 different dimensions. Who knows how far that can go on? But dreams are real. You can travel into a place where you can actually transcend the fourth dimension, which actually we live in. We don't live in a 3D world. If time is in fact a dimension within itself, then our XYZ axis would have to have that time is either a whole dimension that in which our 3D world lives upon, or that time inserts itself into every dimension, of which we have 3 that we're aware of. Think about that. Are your dreams past or future? See, that gets back into that whole point. I'll share one of my most vivid lucid dreams. Now, I've questioned over the decades, was this lucid dreaming or was this an actual astral projecting? Well, Franny, there's an interesting thing. We'll talk about that on the memory. I remember I was flying, and the reason why I believe that this was lucid dreaming, I was what they would say, I was both the observer and the observed. And I had the ability to have a duality of consciousness in each one of the things that I was. I was both. I was watching this as an observer, and I was yet at the same time living it as the observed. And as I was looking over this, I was over a very large military field, airfield specifically. And I remember that there were 3 distinct different armies, is the best way I could describe it. Each one had a particular color. And now as I look back, each one had a particular sigil. Something is communicating to me now at night, and I have to become more conscious of it. I'm being shown sigils, which is really interesting. But anyway, in this lucid dream, there was kind of a confluence of all of these forces coming together. And there was a presence of one who was elevated above the 3 representatives of these 3 groups. That one was really distinct. The last one that was really profound upon me was I was living in Texas, and I was on a train. It's very interesting. Again, I was flying, and I saw the train, and the next thing I began to focus in on the train, and I was in the caboose of this train. But there were other people, and the reason why you can tell it's a dream in many cases is that things they're distorted. They could almost look like here, but they're distorted. But in any case, there were 3, what I interpreted back then, three angels that came in to this railroad car that I was in, the caboose. And it's very interesting. Very, as I look back and I can still recall the conversation, today I still pick up pieces on the conversation. But anyway, so those are some of my experiences. And now I can do it very regularly when I practice in the afternoons. You can find yourself out in other dimensions. So let's get right to it, because this is some pretty good stuff, folks. It really is. And the reason why I'm doing this is that we're all going to die, but we don't have to look at it with dread. We don't have to look at it with sadness. We don't have to look at it as loss. Let me tell you what, it's anything but loss. And in order to progress forward, you always have to leave behind sometimes the very things you love the most, which seems to be a sacrifice at the time. Sadness. But what you find out is that it awaits something far more greater than what any of us can realize. And regrettably, it's just my opinion, my point of view. You have your own. But as I begin to prepare for that transition, I was in a doctrine that ruled my consciousness for decades, folks. It sucked. This whole guilt, reward, punishment mentality sets us up. It sets us up for, I think, I want to choose my words wisely here. I have not found the frequency of most of the religions of the world to be operating at a high level. I find most of them to be at a very debased level, because they do not have they have a tendency of pulling you down, not lifting you up. And that's a problem. And we have been so conditioned that, what awaits for us is a positive or a negative. But the thing is, they don't tell you what the positive truly is or what the negative truly is. Duality. So what if, before this poison contaminated the consciousness of humanity, if we step back and see, what did the ancestors do? They just discovered a dinosaur in Antarctica that is, they said, the largest creature that has ever been discovered. They estimate it lived 70 million years ago. Well, if it did, means this planet's a lot older. Means that us, or versions of us, are much older. And it can't be an either or. The universe isn't that away. So the reason why I do this is that when that moment comes for you, you don't have to face it with fear and dread. You understand that it's a process. And by all means, and by those who practice lucid dreaming, it appears, folks, that for the greatest majority of us, unless there's what they call this sudden push of energy out of your body, I heard that fat boy over in North Korea, get this, that is a sick mofo, man. I'm telling you, put in one of his generals, because of the failed second summit or something, in a fish tank with piranha. Anyway, that's kind of, that's what tells me there's many, many different dimensions. Because my mind, your mind never goes there. We could never create it. Therefore, we could never be immersed into it. But trust me, we still got a lot of baggage. So let's get, well, Franny, there you go. Love you, darling. All right. So let's get on with the this whole thing. This is so cool, folks. When we get into the astro projecting and lucid dreaming, and tomorrow we're going to do a combo on this. The movie Inception really just kind of laid it out as what it was all about. In lucid dreaming, anything is possible. And if it's possible within this state of consciousness, and if our consciousness evolves, or better yet, if we're in multiple dimensions at the same time, and if there's an evolution within the master consciousness, the MC, think about it. This is just part of it. And I wanted to bring this up here because, you know, our military, decades, folks, they've been all over this like a duck on a June bug, man. I'm going to tell you what. There's their insignia patch, their sigil. I wanted you to take a look at this. Maybe we'll adapt it as our sigil. Do they spend time on this? Multiple states of consciousness is what we possess. It's the most amazing thing about what we are. And the question that really has to come into mind, I ask myself this all the time now. Am I awake? I once had this impression that I knew I was dreaming this life. I don't know. A lucid dream can begin in one of many ways. A dream-initiated lucid dream, what they call a DILD, a D-I-L-D, starts as a normal dream, and the dreamer eventually concludes it is a dream. A wake-initiated lucid dream, WILD, occurs when the dreamer goes from a normal waking state directly into a dream state. Many of us have done this. In fact, if you've had to go up in the morning, early in the morning and use the restroom for whatever, or get some water, the minute you go back to sleep, if you can train your consciousness, that's the moment to insert. That's how it works. And it's really interesting because it is so fluid at that point. Into a dream state with no apparent lapse of consciousness. The wake-initiated lucid dream occurs when the sleeper enters REM sleep with unbroken self-awareness directly from the waking state. There are some that practice this. They can do this during the day. It's the most amazing thing if you get good at it. And eventually we will. I don't want to get stuck in the next edition of me where I had the opportunity here to learn some lessons. And I'm beginning to see that this realm really is kind of a launching pad. Now, whether we come back through this realm or not, I don't know. But it certainly seems that there are those that will say that, folks, if you're depressed here, you're going to be in a very depressed next reality. It's going to be probably having much the same look of the things that are making you depressed now. You'll just find other disembodied spirits there as well. You can end up being stuck there forever. They say we emit a frequency, each of us do, a vibration. We have an internal cord that connects us to Earth. These cords can be seen by those in other states of consciousness, as I was saying earlier. And those cords carry forward the implants of what your reality has been. You'll never share in your next life, your next realm. You only go as far as you've advanced in a reality that would be altered than that which you have basic, let's get back to the depression, have resigned yourself to. Yeah. The mnemonic induction of lucid dreams was developed by Professor Stephen LaBarge in his doctoral thesis, Carried on Lucid Dreaming. This method of having a lucid dream mainly consists of repeating a mantra in our minds forever until it becomes reality. Like Buddha said, we are shaped by our thoughts. We become what we think. That's why I always think of favor. I learned a long time ago, there's a lot of different mantras you can learn, but for me, I have found it as a way of protection. How can something harm me if I'm invoking favor upon it? And if it did, I'm still the higher consciousness. Lucid dreaming is rather a well-researched, broadly recognized skill set that can be acquired in the same way as any other skill, through practice. This was written by Chris Hammond. The thing is, within each plane, each dimension, there are, just like here on Earth, as I was saying yesterday in our show with Jeff, if three, extraterrestrials came down to do a recon mission, and one landed in the Sahara Desert, the other one landed in the Brazilian rainforest, another one landed in the Pacific Ocean, and you could just say if there was a whole recon group, one landed in New York City, and they go back and report what the conditions of what Earth is. Well, you'd have multiple descriptions of a diverse reality in one dimension. Gets wild. So one of the things we're going to learn in lucid dreamings is that, you can lay down and go to sleep. This works best if you are extremely tired. See the same thing with Franz. It's all about concentration, folks. It really is. How many of you, and it's harder than, it's a booger, man. I mean, have been able to actually hold and create within your mind the white dot? It's not easy. It ain't easy at all. All right. Now, this one says you can lay on your back with your arms at your side and eyes closed. Stay perfectly still. You must stay awake. Your brain will send signals to your body to see if you are ready to sleep. These signals include getting an itch, changing your body position, wanting to blink or move. Your eyeballs, remember your eyes should be closed. You must ignore all of these impulses. After about 20 to 30 minutes, you will feel a weight on your chest. You may even hear weird noises. You will, yeah. You are now in sleep paralysis. If you open your eyes, you will begin to hallucinate, dream with your eyes open, and you will not be able to move your body. And this is where the focusing comes in. There was a time when I suffered what I thought was sleep paralysis. So you have to remember, you are dreaming. That was the whole thing about Inception, is that you get the subject to buy into the suggested thought of reality. Works the same way with us. It really does. So you have the awake that supposedly you and I are right now. We have the REM, which is called lucid, rapid eye movement. And then you have the REM, which we call the deep sleep, the non-lucid. During lucid dreaming in REM, fast electrical brainwave activity reemerges over the prefrontal cortex compared to the non-lucid REM sleep dreaming. The brain is it's the pituitary gland, folks, the hippocampus. It seems like that is the way. So the goal that I always tell people is that it's about to expand your consciousness. It's like this, folks. This is how we have to work out of the paradigm. Whatever your view of whatever the next world's going to be for you, you have to begin to define it. You can't allow it to become ambiguous to you just because you can't fathom it, because you've never experienced it. A baby can't fathom what their life's going to be like, but you begin to learn very quickly that you're here and that all of us eventually get over there, wherever there is. I find lucid dreaming to help. All right, so here is a step-by-step guide. I've got this in a PDF if any of you want it. This is self-hypnosis. Now, I have another technique after this one. A lucid dream is any dream in which which you're aware that you're dreaming. The idea is to experience what's going on with greater awareness and to take control of your dreams. It is a little like being the director of your own movie, but you're the dream. Now, isn't it odd that when you wake up, when you become aware that you're in a dream, you never know where it began at. You find yourself in the middle of whatever is going on. So something has pre-created the entire environment that your consciousness drops down into. Think about that. Fact one, about 50% of people have experienced lucid dreaming at some point in their lives. Lucid dreams can be used for solving problems, unleashing your creativity, stopping a recurring nightmare, healing the body, focusing on specific issue, enjoying fantasy and adventure, finding your inner peace. You can almost say that these are different realities or dimensions that either we coexist, or have direct access to. In order to be considered a lucid dream, you should be aware that you're dreaming, able to make decisions, aware of yourself in the dream, aware of the dream environment, aware of what the dream means to you, aware of your ability to focus on the dream as it happens. Fact two, 20% of people have a lucid dream once a month. This is what, and I'm just going to tell you, I have two things that it frustrates the living daylights out of me. I still have times where I am tethered. I want to fly, but there's wires above me. And every time I know that they're electrical wires, and they're not just going one way, they're going crisscrossed, and the other thing is, and I know this is going to sound strange, I can't manifest a chocolate bar. Yeah, I know it, but you don't understand. You know, I like chocolate. I think that's, you know, the ambrosia of where we come from. Anyway, how to combine self-hypnosis and the wake back to bed technique. Lucid dreaming happens at a point between REM sleep and waking, which is why the wake back to bed technique is so effective, because it momentarily wakes you during this period, which is a couple of hours before you wake naturally. Self-hypnosis makes lucid dreaming more powerful as it helps you to sink into this vivid state of consciousness faster as a result of relaxation techniques and auto-suggestions. I get into a place when I really need to get into that place. I have a place, it's an ocean place. And if any of you ever been up in Northern California and Oregon up there, you know that as you get off the Pacific Highway that you have to hike down, but there are these most beautiful enclaves of where you can see the ocean coming in. Anyway, that's where I go. And I can even feel the sand right now. Anyway, self-hypnosis makes lucid dreaming more powerful. Excuse me, I was lost there for a second. All right, so some prep work. Number one, visualize yourself lucid dreaming throughout the day and what you want to do in your dream. This is so good because you see what this does. You're pre-programming your software. You're telling the superconscious, which will tell the subconscious, we're going to go. Almost like again, I'm hearing Deep Purple. We're going to do some space trucking. Anyway, so 2, do reality checks to test that you're awake. For example, check if text reads normal or the light switches work the way that they should. In doing so, you will be more likely to perform these tasks while dreaming. I don't know. I've been in places where I've been into a room and switched on the light switch and the light came on. Number 3, before you fall asleep, set your alarm for 2 hours before you normally would or otherwise. Now, fact number 3, people who play video games are more prone to lucid dreaming. This is possible because they are used to controlling a virtual reality. Now, this is one of those things I hadn't even thought about. But think about it. If you become so versed that your consciousness gets immersed into a VR to what we would call a reality, it's interesting discipline, isn't it? Bedtime. 1, lie down on your bed with your legs out straight and your arms by your side. 2, close your eyes and breathe in and out slowly and deeply. 3, visualize the tension leaving your body from the top of your head to the tip of your toes. I do a technique I learned years and years ago. I always see myself as the negative energy is always represented by a green fluid. And so I see that pouring out at the soles of my feet. And then I mentally picture it as it's going through my body, and I relax as that tension pours out. Feel your body melting into the soft bed or floating as if it's weightless. See yourself at the top of a staircase and count your way slowly down the steps from 10 to 1. Number 6, when you reach the bottom, begin repeating auto-suggestions such as, I can recognize when I'm dreaming, or I will wake up inside my dream. It's whatever works for you. Number 7, allow yourself to fall asleep knowing that you will wake up inside your dream. It's all about preparing. Now, dream time. 1, when your alarm sounds, don't open your eyes. Let your body fall back asleep while keeping your mind awake. This takes a little getting used to because we all do it. It's just that there's a pull. We naturally feel this pull and we go off to sleep. And many times people have more profound dreams when they've had to get up and then go back to sleep. There's a reason for that. You're lucid dreaming. It really is. That's what you're doing. All right, 2, let your body get heavier and heavier and keep your mind focused while your body shuts down. This is what puts you into a lucid dream. Number 3, if you become too excited, you might wake up, and you will. The trick is to let the dream unfold rather than forcing it so you can stay in the dream longer and experience more. In Jurgen's book, and I'm going to get this guy on, I agree with him. As I look back, I've had conversations with others, and now I know they're dead. They see us as dead. Some don't. Some see us connected to the cord, and they know that we're visitors. But for the most part, people won't see you. But those that I've had conversations with, and you do get excited, yeah, you end up waking up and you go, damn. Anyway, number 4, let any images and sensations come and go. You might see shapes, colors, people, and places. You might hear sounds. With practice, you'll be able to control these. Number 5, after your lucid dream, you'll either eventually fall asleep fully or your body will wake with your mind. When you do fully awake, write down what you dreamt and what worked for you so you can keep perfecting it. Fact number 4, the most common lucid dreams are about flying and sex. Imagine that. You see, I asked this question and I love the response that the person wrote, is that I think there's sex over in the other worlds, folks. I really do. As someone wrote, then why would there be incubuses and succubuses? If there ain't sex over there, then why would the gods have so much attention to it? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So the flying is very common for me. I tell you, I will tell you, I've experienced this only a couple of times, folks. I've been out there. Yeah, it's amazing. Not all lucid dreams are useful, but they all have a sense of wonder about them. If you must sleep through a third of your life, why should you sleep through your dreams too? And again, if you want this, I have it. It's can send it to you in a PDF, and it's very cool. Now, got another one because there's different techniques here, and I wanted to make sure that you can get the approach. Now, this is from an individual, Madeline. I think it's Lurobo, I believe I said that correct. In her approach, she says, and it's kind of the same approach, but I thought it was interesting because it's whatever works for you. Once you learn the basics, you'll fine tune it yourself. Awareness that you are dreaming, clear dreaming, and the ability to control your dreams. So she adds a little different nuance to this than the other one. Steps to lucid dreaming, reality checks, dream journal, meditation, time, dream stabilization. Yeah, I think that's important because have you ever experienced when you've come out of a dream and it just sometimes you're drained, sometimes you're constricted, like you had to accomplish something. You knew this, but boom, man, you're yanked back into this reality. There are some who meet others. How should I say this? Almost like when they pass on from here, they're going to meet their lover. They've already met them through lucid dreaming. It's just that their lover is on the other side. And this individual partner is very much aware that the one that they love is in this dimension. Pretty strange, I know. All right, performing reality checks. Increase self-awareness, differentiate dreams from reality, mental habit, am I awake, routinely reality checks. The thing is that it can be seductive, very seductive. I'm convinced that's why they found some people that went to sleep of a young age and they found them dead. Yeah, seems a little weird, but it's true. The dream catcher, I love this. So the dream journal, keep a journal by your bed, record dreams every morning, sketch pictures, interpret, analyze, title each dream. Again, this most people don't, but I think that this is a great way of really becoming a master. Meditation, train yourself in dream states, eradicate busy thoughts, fronds, create a peaceful place. My place is that beach cove. Engage in all senses. That one's a little different because the senses, you'll find out, sometimes has a tendency to overwork themselves. Timing techniques, wake back to bed. They title this one, she does, as a WBTB. I like that. Sleep 6 hours, intentionally wake up, conscious state of REM sleep, morphs reality and dreams together. And this is what I will tell you. I haven't seen it written, but do it at 3 o'clock. Set your alarm for 3 o'clock. You'll thank me. Dream stabilization. Remain in a dream state. Stay calm. This is the thing many people freak out on. They begin to realize that they ain't in Kansas anymore. Hello, Jeff. And this is what you have to remind them.
Relax, calm down now. Don't stress. Take it easy.
There we go. And you'll be much better because if you learn to your breathing, it'll help. You can focus in on your breathing. Again, the mantra helps. Adapt it. The shorter, the better. And then have fun because you're going to go out to places. And I'll just say this as kind of a, well, just a little warning is that you're going to encounter things of your personality. Those of you that are new to this, you have to begin to understand your mind has dark places. It's just a fact. And you can't run from those. They'll show up. And the things that sometimes we find ourselves being challenged with in this reality, some things that, past love affairs that didn't work, hurts, whatever it has been, you have to deal with those now. Because you get into lucid dreaming, they're waiting for you. I'll just warn you that now. If your vibration, your frequency is low, and how you can judge that is your thoughts, your word thoughts. If you can get your mantra where your frequency becomes higher, that vibration is translated into the realm that you happen to be in this dream state. I contend they're probably just as real as this one. I mean, how is death defined as real? Well, you could say, well, your body ain't around anymore. True that. So what happens to that 24, grams that is measured in every body that at the moment of death? We're going somewhere. I have a thought that the thing that grabs your attention, your focus the most, is most likely that's where you're going to end up. And if you have a natural tendency to laugh, to make people happy, to, just to be a lover of people, evoking favor on them all the time and smiling, that is a vibration that is going to carry you. Oh, people. Yeah. And so the body just becomes a release. What we can do while we're here is to perfect that. Man, it coming out where you're coming out of this realm, and I mean, whoo, you're that shining bright light that the people see going off into the heavens. So anyway, I hope that this has helped. We do it anyway. All of us do it. You do it, I do it, they do it, everybody does it. But so why not then become master over it? Learn to get your sigils. Learn to be able to understand that in the next realms, once you learn, let me just say this. Many of you who are here every day, and as we continue this journey together, now that we know the power of sigils, you're going to see them in the next realms. But it's going to give you a distinct advantage. You'll have your own. Thank you, Richard. So hope this has helped. Happy journey on this. We're going to get more. Tomorrow we're going to get now this thing where we can get back into some of the documents we were looking on Friday and now combine the astral travel to lucid dreaming. And that's interesting. I often wonder if the astral travel is a place where, I don't know, it had to give some thought onto this. But anyway, so Wednesday, got Trina, and I've got my mind's going 1,000 miles an hour, folks, because this is where I'm at. When I look at the journey of the souls, it's an interesting read. But the whole context of that matrix is that we go back to our pods, our tribes, and we do life reviews, and then we wait and see if some of us can graduate. And then apparently we're going back through the chute. I don't like that. I'll tell you why I don't like that. It's limited. You could say every lifetime is a new dimension, and it is. The thing is, as I was going to say earlier, when you die, you're not going to be going back into the Middle Ages. You're not going to be going to a place that's 100, 200, 3,000 years in the future. You're going to go back into the strangest thing, because right now you have already constructed what your next realities are going to be. No futuristic thing. Now, there are different dimensions and the ability to create greater through creativity of discipline of mind, you could call it soul, spirit, whatever. And then you're going to experience different things that you can't even write about. And that's why this time is very interesting. There has to be an existence, I contend, that's even above time. I haven't been there yet. Maybe I have. I don't remember. Who knows? All right, good people. Thank you for watching. Y'all are the best. I appreciate you. Love you very much. I hope to meet you out there. You know, tomorrow we're going to get into the fact that we can actually meet, folks. Get this. We can actually meet when we sleep. They're doing it now. The military, governments, universities, private societies. Who else knows? But yeah. And as we continue to, as our frequencies begin to congeal together as this group, I do believe, and Karen has been giving away crystals, that we can begin to tune those crystals, because we all have the same crystals, and they can become point of fixed contacts. Folks, we can do this. Yeah. All righty. Appreciate you folks. Be good. And I'll see you tomorrow. You know, isn't this far out? I mean, seriously, I know we're going to meet on the other side and we're going to go, you know, now that was pretty cool, wasn't it? Yeah. All right. Love y'all, folks. We'll see you tomorrow. All right. Bye-bye.